Hey my friend, this is Darnell Clarke, your industry leader in career game. Hey, the answer man, your career coach. Hey, today's topic is how to recover from after you bombed the interview, right? We've all bombed it. I have, right? And so how do you recover when you just absolutely just was horrible at the interview, so bad that they stopped it, right? Hey man, so before I get started, I have something special for you. It's a interviewing cheat sheet. I have recognized that most of my clients really don't know how to prep for an interview. I have a 7-step surefire way to help you prep for an interview so you at the end of the day can get the job offer that you want. Stay to the end. I'll give you instructions how to get it. So now, how do you get over the fact that you went to an interview, you put all your information together, you spent all this time putting your resume together, you found the job, and then you submitted it, they called you up, you went through some phone interviews or Skype interviews, whatever it is, and then they invited you in, and then you came in for the interview and you completely whiffed at it, you bombed at it. How do you recover from that? I've done that myself. Yeah, I did it twice. Early in my career, I'm in IT. I have a computer science degree and an MBA, and I was in IT, and I thought I wanted to be a technical person, right? And so I started learning just a smidgen about becoming a database administrator, a DBA. I was working with IBM at the time. I was consulting with IBM at the time, early in my career. And I saw these DBA people and they was rocking and rolling and everything. I said, hey, I want to be a database administrator too. So I put my resume together and I had the opportunity to get interviewed by Home Depot World Headquarters. She brought me in and I'm like, okay, great. The interview started and the first 5-10 minutes was going extremely well. I was building that relationship. She started asking me these simple questions, tell me about yourself. Why should I hire you? And, then she started getting into the nitty gritty of being a database administrator. She asked me a few questions. I handled it, no big deal. Then she said, all right, then what do you do after that? I'm like, huh? I'm like, what are you talking about? When you create a file, you do whatever, what do you do then? I couldn't answer that question. She said, okay, then what do you do then? I couldn't answer that. And she said, all right, I'm gonna bring it up to a high level. Explain to me from the beginning and on a high level what a database administrator does. What files do they do? What do they do? And I couldn't kind of answer that. And then she started giving me these looks like, what? And then she asked me a question, I gave her some bogus answer. She's like, what? And I bust out laughing, and she did too, right? I mean, we were laughing, hysterically laughing. She said, man, oh man, she said, I like you, Darnell. She said, go back and learn another 6, 8, 9 more months, and then come back to me. I mean, she stopped the interview. We was only about 15, 20 minutes in. She stopped the interview and she said, this is over. You're not the person for this position. You don't have enough experience. Go back, get some more experience. Here's my business card. When you get the more experience, come back and we'll interview you again. I like you, man. And so that interview showed me that I was not ready or willing to be a technical, hands-on person in IT. That one interview showed me I didn't want to be an individual contributor in IT. I wanted to be on a higher level on leadership. It gave me an idea that this is what I shouldn't be doing in the first place. Then in the middle of my career, when I was rocking and rolling a little bit, I always wanted to work for Coca-Cola. And then I got the opportunity to work for Coca-Cola. I got an email. They said, hey, we're interested. We went through several phone interviews, got past all that. They invited me for a face-to-face interview. This is it. I'm gonna go work for the company that I always wanted to work for, Coca-Cola. And then the interview started. Excuse me. And then the interview started. And right away, he went right to particular type questions. See, a couple days before the interview, the recruiter sent me a how to handle and how to prepare for a Coca-Cola interview using the behavior interviews. Now, if you never had the opportunity to do a behavior interview. You know what that's all about? In the description field, I created a series, a YouTube series on how to address and prepare for a behavior interview using the STAR method. If you haven't done that before, sooner or later, my friend, you will be in an interview that requires for you to handle a behavior interview. If you don't know how to do it, go in the description and look at all 4 of those behavior interviews so you can know how to handle those behavior interviews. So it was a behavior interview. He brought me in. He started asking me questions right away of how to do something. You know, like, tell me about a time when you did X, Y, Z. And I started at this high level. Well, I did this and I did this. And then he kept saying, and then what did you do? And then what did you do? How did you do this? Why did you do this? How come you did this? If you did this, then how did you do that? For one question, for 30 minutes, he was trying to get information out of me using the STAR method. The STAR. If you don't know what that is, go below and get it so you can know what that is. And I couldn't do it. And for 30 minutes, he was trying to get that one question. And finally, he sat back and started chuckling to himself and said, Darnell, you are not a good fit for this organization. He stood up, shook my hand, and walked me right out of the interview. I was devastated, man. I mean, man, this was my perfect job. I wanted to work for this company all my career, and now I can't because I blew it. So here are 5 steps to get over when you bomb an interview. Now, let me give you a difference. I am not talking about going to an interview and you didn't get the job. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you go to the interview and you absolutely positively bombed it. They either stopped the interview like they stopped it on my 2 times, or when you left the interview, they didn't ask you no questions, which is an indicator. They didn't ask you no questions. They didn't ask you, your salary requirement. They didn't ask you, did you have any questions for me? They wanted to wrap this sucker up and get you out as soon as possible. When that happens, then you know you have absolutely bombed the interview. So let me give you 5 steps how to recover from it. Step number 1. Don't be too overly critical of it, man. Listen, this interviewing stuff is not easy. It's not. And it's freaking hard. And it's no fun. You got to put all this stuff in you. You got to go to an interview. You got to present yourself to a person and try to make them believe that you are the person for the job. Man, forget all that, right? Don't be too overcritical self. The reason why you're not good at interviewing because you're not interviewing. Right? You probably only interview when you need a job or when you're trying to be unemployed. That's like once or twice a year, if that, once every 2 or 3 years. So you are not good at it because you are not accustomed to doing it. For me, I came out of college, I was job hopping all over the place, so I was accustomed to taking interviews. In my career, I have had 25 jobs, high paying IT jobs, and over those 25 jobs, I have taken over 200 interviews. I got so accustomed to taking interviews. Interviews was no big deal to me. But for you, don't worry about it. Step number 1, don't be too overcritical of you. Don't worry about it. Get back on the horse and get back into the game. Step number 2. When you bomb an interview and you didn't do well, don't call them and ask for a redo. Can I do it over? Can I come back and take an interview? I didn't do well. I could do better. Give me another chance. Later for all that. You bombed it, fess up to it, move on, get over it. Get to the next one and call it. Don't worry about it. You will not get an opportunity. If you came to me and I was a hiring authority and you bombed it, you asked me for another chance, I'm gonna say, no way, Jose. You blew it, man. I'm gonna give you one opportunity because if you blew it now, you probably blow it again. I can't take a chance on you. So don't worry about it. Don't ask for a mulligan. Don't ask for a redo. Make it your mission to understand it and move on. Step number 3, right? Do your evaluation. Identify the cause of it. There was a reason you bombed at it. Was you like me? Did you not have the skill sets in the first place to take the interview in the first place? Like I did in the first time working, trying to get hired in or taking the interview at Home Depot. I should have never took that position. I didn't have the skill sets for it. Was that you? Did you not prep? I can't tell you how many times I come across people and they're asking me to help them for an interview that they either didn't do well on and try to do better next time. I ask them, do they prep? No, I ain't prep, right? How long did you prep? It took about 10, 15 minutes. What did you prep on? I don't know nothing, right? No, right? Step number 3 is identify why you didn't do well and fix it. Step number 3 is evaluate the cause, fix it. Prep, understand who you are, understand what the job requirement is, and connect it to your resume and talk to that resume. If you have not done it, then don't go for the interview. Here's a little things you should remember. For your resume, as far as submitting, if it doesn't fit, don't submit. Do not ever submit for a job that you know you are not qualified to do. So when you get in that when you get in an interview, then you bomb it because you're never supposed to be there in the first place. Step number 4, do make the improvements. Find out what's the cause of it and then fix it. Practice. Practice. Understanding that an interview is a process. And if you understand the process of it all, you could practice that process. And when you are there, you can fix all the things that made the interview go bad, right? That's step number 4. And step number 5 is don't dwell on it. Get back on the horse and get to your next interview and go for it. The way you get better at interviewing is take more of them. That's the only way. There is no other way. There's no secret to anything. You're going to get better at it if you continue to take more of them. So don't dwell on it, my friend. So let me recap and give you the 5 steps to recover from bombing an interview. Step number 1, don't be too overcritical of yourself. Hey, forget about it. Step number 2, if you bomb it, don't call them and ask for a redo. It's over. Get on with it and be finished with it. Step number 3 is evaluate the cause. Find out what was the cause for you bombing it, fix it. Step number 4, when you fix it, improve on it and practice so it never happens again. And step number 5, don't dwell on it. Get over it and get on with it, my friend. So there you go, my friend. Those are the 5 ways that you can recover from bombing an interview. So if you like this video, click on the like button. I truly like when you click on the like button. Share this with 5 friends. That's how I get my message out, when you share with your friends. So share with 5 friends. And if you have any comments or questions in the comment field, ask your questions, because I am Darnell Clarke, the answer man. There is no question that you can ask me that I will not know the answer for. And if you haven't done so already, click on the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel. On the side there is a bell. Click on that bell so you can be notified of when I come out with better and future YouTube videos. I come out with them all the time. So there you go, my friends. So if you are viewing this on Instagram, you can get this information on Instagram by going to my profile and clicking on the link. Now, I told you I have something special for you. I have a resume cheat sheet. It's a 7-step, 7 surefire ways to engage into an interview. So at the end of it, you will get a job offer. Most people do not know how to prep for an interview. I'm gonna give you the 7 steps to prep for an interview. An interview, if you look at it, has a process. It's a 4-stage process. All it is the first thing is the introduction, it's the employer's question, it's the candidate's questions, and then lastly, it's the closing. This free download will give you the ability to address all that, so you, my friend, know how to take an interview. So there you go, my friend. I give it to you all. If you are viewing me on Facebook, friend me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, click so I can connect with you. If you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram and on Twitter also. So there you go, my friend. This is Darnell Clarke saying one thing. There's one thing I know for sure in life, that is, whatever you want in life, you gotta go get it. So go get it, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.